Hello and welcome to my channel again. This video is for you if you want to have a session, a hypnosis session, or you know someone who does, and you have the belief that you are not hypnotizable. So I want to tell you that over the past few years that I've been working with hypnosis and hypnotherapy specifically, I've had so many people, so many who came to me and told me that they've worked with psychologists, they work with psychiatrists, and they did hypnosis and it never worked for them. And they tried it several times and they just tried it with the most qualified practitioners or therapists and it didn't work for them. And I have the answer every single time. Hypnosis works for you. And it's a matter of understanding how it works for you and what it tells you. So if you think that you are not hypnotizable, first and foremost, that is not possible. Because if you were not hypnotizable, you would not be alive. You go through the same hypnotic state that we go in the deeper level of hypnosis every time we go to bed, every time we wake up. You're in hypnosis when you watch TV, when you're watching YouTube, when you're driving, when you're on your phone. You are literally, even when you walk in the park and you start drifting and floating away in your mind, you are in hypnosis. So this is what you need to know. When you are in hypnosis, you are not supposed to feel hypnotized because if you focus on feeling hypnotized, you are missing the relaxation. In hypnosis, you will not feel hypnotized, you will feel relaxed. And in that state of relaxation, you can find all the answers to all of your questions. Sometimes the answer is that you are blocking yourself. So, one story that I've heard recently that's not related to blocking in a sense, but it also is someone who came to me and told me, well, I did hypnosis before, and last time I was in this place and nothing was happening. And I felt so upset that I told the psychologist to take me out of hypnosis because I don't want to be there anymore. And she did. So, as practitioners, I'm not a psychologist, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I specialize in several modalities. I work at various hypnotic states. I work with intuition, I do hypnosis, I do deep hypnosis, I do energy healing, which also induces hypnotic states. I do meditations that induce hypnotic states. So everything that I do and everything that you do, whether you try to meditate or you're looking for a deep hypnosis session, you are going to be in a state of hypnosis, which only means an altered state of consciousness where you can relax and you can find more answers to your questions. So it's very, very easy to be in hypnosis and it's very natural to be in hypnosis. As practitioners, we are highly trained. And when someone is laying down and wants to get out of there and has certain feelings about a place where they are, specifically if they're in a place that they would say, it's nothing, there's absolutely nothing here for me, that is never nothing. And I know I've made another video about this, but this is really, really important. You never take someone out of hypnosis when, no matter how they feel, or no matter how many times they keep saying there's nothing here for me, you never ever ever take someone out. Now if the person decides to open their eyes and walk away, that is their choice, but I always tell everybody, I just need you to promise me, well, I tell most people that who have this concern, I need you to promise me that you will stay until the end, because by the end we will understand what is happening, and nothing is ever nothing. So if you're a practitioner, us as practitioners, obviously we have to do a lot of work on ourselves to be able to hold a space where our feelings don't get in the way. We have to have so much certainty that every single session works, so much certainty and belief in ourselves and in what we are here to offer in the space, that no matter what happens in the session, we always know it always works and we're finding out what it does for this person. Never ever take someone out because you're afraid. That's a big mistake. In fact, I told one of my clients recently that if she does get again into that place of darkness, which she might, because looking at her questions, and I did not try to program her, um, but she was so afraid that I could tell she was going to take herself out if she experienced it again. And I told her, no matter what happens, do not get out, do not open your eyes until I tell you we are done. You can open your eyes now. And she made that promise. She went into that same place where she went with a psychologist several times. She went in that place 3 times. And by the end of it, she was really frustrated and she didn't understand what is happening. I am blocked. This is not working for me. She struggled so much that in the end, she had no choice but to surrender. In the end, she ended up struggling so much with herself, struggling against the darkness, struggling against no answers, that she had the insight that all I need to do is surrender and stop trying to control this experience. As soon as she surrendered, she calmed down, she was at peace. And then when we moved to the higher self, intuition, whatever session you're doing, and we asked, why did they experience the darkness? Well, because they're stuck in the life. What is the lesson? They need to surrender. They need to stop controlling. You see, the sessions always work. You have to stay until the end to find out why. And if you are receiving a session, you're already spending money for the session. You're already here, or wherever you are in the practitioner space. You're talking about everything. You're really wanting to get the answers. And if you really want to get the answers, you will. In very, very, very few occasions, I would say um, maybe not even 2%, I would say, of people who come. If the fear of getting the answers is so big, if the questions, if every single thing on the paper is just so big, and I would say if the person knows what they need to do, but they're too afraid to do it, there is a risk that they could be blocking themselves. But by the end of the session, we find out whether they block the answers. Someone who continually says, I don't know, might be in a place where they can benefit a lot more from different type of coaching, from intuition coaching, from understanding that it is safe to connect, that it's safe to get the answers, that it's safe to get the answers and not do anything about it, that is safe to admit that I know the answers. I'm not ready and I want to work on, I'm not ready, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing. There are other ways to work with parts that are blocking, sabotaging. There are other ways to work with hypnosis at various levels to integrate the inner child, to reestablish a basis of safety so then when they are ready, they can have a deeper level of hypnosis. But the sessions always work. So no matter whether you are on the giving or receiving end of it, just stay till the end. You'll be surprised by what you get and just know that you get your answers. But also know that your answer is never nothing. And if you think your answer was nothing based on a session, you're probably missing something. So if you're willing to look and see what you're missing, you'll get all the insights that you need in order to take yourself to the next step. So I hope this helps. I hope this eases your belief in yourself, in the sessions, in receiving support, in being in the space. And I hope you know that it's so much more important to understand where you are and how you can connect even deeper with your higher self. What is blocking you? That is more important than what your expectations are around a session. And there's another thing that I will address in another video, but it's very possible that you're expecting to get the answers in a specific way, like I did in the beginning, when I thought someone will give me the answers, or I will see like the vast majority of my clients, I will see. But in fact, if you're like me, you're clairsentient, you're claircognizant, you know, and you feel in your body. And when you expect to see images, that will never happen. So you have to develop other senses, and those are not the primary senses that anyone ever talks about, rather. So it will be a little bit of a journey to develop your claircognizance and clairsentience, because that really means feeling safe in your body, trusting your body, trusting to get the answers inside of yourself, to feel what feels right to you, trusting that you're not making things up. And even if you think you are making things up, it's the ability to decide that even if I am, I'm going to write them down somewhere and move on. And you'll be surprised that 3 months, 3 years later, and it's not going to be 3 years, I promise, because everything is moving so much faster. But there will be a time way sooner than what you think when you're going to look at those things you think you made up and made no sense to you, when you got your answers, your inspiration. And you will realize, oh my gosh, I was right all along and I didn't believe it. I thought I made it up. And then you will still think you will make things up in the future. So it's really learning how to tune into that trust, self-trust and self-belief. So I really, really hope this helps. If you think you're not hypnotizable, you are, but hypnosis is not a stage trick. It's not about being asleep. It's about going into a deep relaxation and discovering how your intuition, your higher self, your soul speaks with you. What is the language of your soul?